Hey welcome to ShortTWOW 4B. After an entire month of not uploading an episode, I feel like it's finally time to put ShortTWOW back on the menu. For real this time, I swear. If you're confused on what you're looking at though, then I'd recommend you check out ShortTWOW 0. But before I do anything, I think I should probably answer everyone's questions in their minds right now. Why are these long form now? But yes, as you can see, we're no longer in vertical form at YouTube Shorts. And you might be wondering why. I already explained this in one of my community posts, so I'll link that there. But this is just a quick TLDR. TLDR, ShortTWOW is no longer being hosted in the YouTube Shorts tab. It will move over to long form videos now. However, I don't plan to change the game after this, so now this will remain a vanilla mini TWOW. It'll just be moved over to the videos now. I know this is really unexpected, especially at where we are at the game right now, but honestly, I feel like this is a really needed change, as I felt really restricted by YouTube Shorts, especially with its limited 3-minute length. So I really hope you find it in your heart to forgive me now, and I do appreciate every single one of you for watching this series, especially for how long this episode has taken. I'm really sorry for that. But regardless, enough of that sad yapping. Let's get into the true episode. Yippee! If you don't remember, our last prompt was, in a world of stupidity, convince everyone that you're the smartest person alive. 12 people responded to that prompt, and all you lovely voters voted on those. How many votes did we get? Well, 9 voters cast 15 votes. Thank you to every single one who voted. Thank you, I really do appreciate it. Voter shoutouts go out to Lime, MathGuy37, Flana G, Number Gamer, Meaty Pickle, Dreamart, Pizza Enjoyer, AA9676, and Azura and Orange. Thank you. Now, usually I would go over to the leaderboard and show you who the winner was, but I'm not gonna do that today. In fact, we're moving to the new stage, 1x1s. If you don't know what I'm talking about, basically, 1x1s are another form of leaderboards. This is when the contestants are revealed 1x1 in the order they placed last time. Basically in the alumni stages of the original TWOW. This is also another reason why I decided to switch over to long form, since this process is gonna take a while. But I hope you all enjoy it. Insert clever transition here. Wait, wrong transition. Wait, actually, this works, cause this is a transition, and you know they do that sometimes. Okay, fine, I'll make an actual transition. And here we are. Made this up by myself, and it looks pretty decent. I don't know. Leave me suggestions to see if I can make this better or something. But anyways, up first, we have MathGuy37. His last round win gets up to be first on the 1x1. Speaking of which, his response is, by utilizing perplexing equations, the foolish population can't comprehend thesauruses. A very interesting response, which may or may not have led to a sandblast, which we will get to later. But personally, his second response, which consists of gaslighting, was my personal favorite, purely because of how funny it was. But that's just my opinion. What will the voters think? Well, let's find out. 62.70%. Another spectacular performance from MathGuy. His responses continue to rise to the top and may even rise again. Who knows? But anyways, up next we have Fly Games with a spectacular, very outdated, very late Ramadan book. But regardless of the late holiday, at least we're here now. Anyways, let's see what his response was. His response was, count to 3. People will think you're speaking higher knowledge. It's simple, but it's effective. But his other response, I don't really get. Maybe it's a reference to something and I just don't know. Or maybe I'm just stupid, I don't really know. How will he do against MathGuy? Let's see. 58.93%. A bit below MathGuy, but it's still a good performance. These two are definitely polarizing too, because as you can see, Fly is on the least controversial side, while MathGuy has the most controversial side. Very interesting if you tell me. Standard deviation doesn't really matter though, because we're really focusing on score. Anyways, next up we have Triblast. Her consistent performance is always a delight to see, but let's see what her response is. It's Restaurant substitutions. Triangular chips shows you no amount of sides. A bit of inspiration from the last prompt I see, and a bit of a clever one too. But I personally did like her second response more. That was a pretty clever comparison between piracy and pirates. But I don't know, maybe the voters saw something in the first response that I just don't get. Let's see what they thought. 53.70%, just above average. With how consistent you've been and with how much I've liked your response, I'm pretty sure you'll be safe. But we'll see what we have next. Up next, we have Number Gamer. Besides Koyuni, he is the best performing player so far, so I'm very intrigued to see how well you do this round. Your response was, single file everyone. Customers all chaotically praise you for files. First off, why are they called customers? Is this like a shop thing that you're holding or something? Secondly, I was at first confused at the thought of files, but then I realized something. Books have pages, and pages are made out of paper, and paper are in cabinets, and cabinets have files. Does this mean that books are files? Probably not. I just wanted to make this comparison because it was funny. Your response could be seen as a little bit confusing, but let's see what the voters think. Ooh, 49.21%, just barely below average. I would worry if I were you, but remember, people have survived below 50%, so I wouldn't worry for now. It's scary, I know, but I think we should calm ourselves with our next contestant, Pizza Enjoyer. One of two default book owners, and probably the most average contestant, as they have not prized nor lost a life. Can he keep his manly responses streak? Let's see with his response. Constantly say vague, inspirational, pseudo-intellectual nonsense on large platforms. I assume what they mean with this response is that if you sound confident enough, especially if what you're saying is wrong, then people may agree with you without even listening, which is very thoughtful, especially with how social media is nowadays. You could just post anything and people will agree with you no matter what. Or at least, I think that's what it means. I don't know if social media exists on your response, but maybe it does. I also like how your response is very simple. It gets the message across, and I really like that. But what did the voters think? Well, let's see. Wait, hold on. We're gonna do something a little bit different here now. There's 5-star mark for losing a life, so how about we do something a little bit different? Since Math Guy 37 is the one that is closest to instant safety, let's pit them together. Since Math Guy 37 is first, let's see how Pizza Enjoyer will do against him. Surprisingly pretty close, with a great score of 61.61%. Pizza, you are currently second, so you may have a good chance of prizing, who knows? Simplicity truly is the way to go, I think. Music Monkey is next, another one of our default book sonas. We're gonna try going faster of these one by one, so his response was, I memorized 10,000 digits of pi, and it's all complete lies. Simple, but maybe a bit too simple. I know Pizza Enjoyer did well with his simple response, but I feel like there's a limit to that though. Speaking of Pizza Enjoyer, how about you face against him and see how well you do, right now. Oof, 46.56%. Looks like Pizza Enjoyer is safe. Music Monkey, I know you may be in danger with your last life, but maybe you can come back from this, who knows? Though, speaking of in danger, let's go to Line Plus, who's currently on his last life right now. But you never know what happens with these. Let's see what your response is. Evaluate advanced level math. What's 3 plus 4? 5. Wow, you're so skilled. It's a pretty good and funny one, but I feel like you'll do average with this one. But I don't know. Let's see you face against Fly. Currently, both Math Guy and Pizza Enjoyer are safe, while Fly is just in the reach of safety. Will Line Plus get that safety, or will Fly just continue to win by doing nothing? Let's see how this goes. Wait, I wasn't even looking. 65.34%? That's really good. Passing Math Guy. That's a pretty impressive score. You're winning so far. I'd hate to assume, but I feel like you got this in the bag. With a pretty simple response, too. Maybe simple responses do better in the end. Just try not to go too simple like Music Monkey over there. Up next, our second safe contestant, formerly named Algadu Nerd Guy IDK. His response is, I can count to 10. 1, 7, 5, 10. Again, another simple response, but mine did pretty well with his simple responses, so you'll never know what happens here. But now, we go to the last stage. As I said, there are 7 safe spots, and 5 of them are danger zones. And now, we're approaching that. So now, we get to see Algadu face off against Music Monkey. Currently, Algadu has to get a response over 46.56% in order to not lose a life. This will also establish the life loss zone, so we will see what happens right now. 52.12%, just barely above 50%, but unfortunately, not only does Music Monkey lose a life, but also they were on their last life. RIP to them. Oh yeah, and fly is safe, I guess. It's a pretty good score, but once again, just like last round, you're just barely in reach of the danger zone. Maybe this time you'll fall into its depths. Who knows? Up next is Asha. You've had a pretty big fall off last round, from being consistently in the top to just barely being in the safe region. But maybe that's just a fluke. I know you're pretty good at these, being in many TWOWs, so let's see what your response is. Use heaters to cut corners, teaching them of 90-degree angles. It's a pretty good response in my opinion, but what will the voters think? Remember, you have to get over 46%, and that's a pretty big zone. So let's see what happens. You're also going to be facing off against Number Gamer, who's just in reach of the danger zone, being just below average. Let's see what will happen with these two. Oof, 41.96%. Asha loses a life. Triblast is safe, while Number Gamer continues to scrape for another day. I was pretty shocked with this score, but maybe the voters just thought it was too complicated, who knows. Up next, we have Silly Circus, who currently is still under coma, but I think they'll do well. Extensive literature is meta for eating cows? Tricky Mind succeeds. I get the idea behind this, but I feel like this may be confusing to some voters. But who knows, maybe they are intelligent. Let's see what they thought. You're going to go against Number Gamer, who continues to be on the verge of the danger zone. And by the way, due to last round, Silly Circus is on his last life, so he could lose here. But Number Gamer is still on 2 lives, so he could lose his first life here. Will he survive, or will he fall down? Let's see. 40.77%, barely lower than Asha. I'm so sorry, Silly Circus, but you were on your last life, so goodbye. In other news though, it looks like Number Gamer is keeping up his survival streak. Can he keep this up? There's 2 more contestants to go through, so we'll see what happens with him. Up next though, we have AAA9676, who kinda looks familiar, but I can't really put my finger on it. I don't know, I can't really tell. Get better pages though, they're transparent. Your response for this round was, make up long gibberish words. Exopanular? These words shock everyone. I mean, exopanular doesn't sound like gibberish to me. It sounds like something you'd find in Urban Dictionary or something. If it had a definition, I tried submitting one weeks ago and it still wouldn't accept. Please, Urban Dictionary, please. All I have is this picture that I took today because I thought it would be a joke. But now, I have nothing to show for it. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I mean, I liked your response. I feel like you should be more confident in your response and vote them up, looking at you. But I don't know, maybe it is bad and I just don't see it. You're up against Number Gamer, who's still keeping up his survival streak after all this time. You have to hope you do badly here. Will nobody that, I mean, AAA9676 fall and Number Gamer continues to survive? Or will Number Gamer fall for the first time? Let's see. Whoa, 59.23%? That's very, very high. And possibly could have been higher if you voted yourself first. I feel bad for you, Number Gamer. You had a pretty good streak, but I don't think the pressure caught up yet. I'm really sorry. But now, up last, but certainly not least, we have Jolly Sobble. Right now, you're the efficiency champion, which means you have the lowest NR right now, so I'm curious to see your response. I'm wiser since I'm a prizer at winning ShortTWOW rounds. Another simple response, but maybe a bit too meta for my own taste. I mean, I don't know, usually responses like these go low, but I do like the rhyme, so maybe that will be safe, who knows. But now, since Number Gamer lost a life, you're now going to be pitted against Algadu Nurgai IDK, who is also in danger. In my opinion, both of your responses are pretty simple, so this could be close if we're really thinking about it. While Algadu's subpar score of 52% may seem scary at first, like I've always said, you never know what could happen next. Will Algadu's first life fall, or will an efficiency champion fall? Well, let's find out. Statistics time! I don't really know how to make a good transition from that. Sorry. Here's the regular leaderboard, for convenience sake. Now, I can finally do something that I've been meaning to do since the first episode. Statistics. I feel like this is a necessity for the twowing industry, as we could just look at numbers and look at nerdy stuff. First off, I'm gonna go by NR, aka Normalized Ranks. Now, as I've mentioned last episode, Koyuni was our frontrunner last episode, but unfortunately, due to your DMP this round, they've unfortunately fallen from the top. Who could possibly be the frontrunner now? Well, it would be none other than Math Guy 37. Which I feel like makes sense due to his impressive 2 prizes in a row last 2 rounds. Now, the remaining people in the top 5 of the NRs are Number Gamer, Koyuni, our former frontrunner, Fly Games, and Pizza Enjoy, our flatliner. Let's take a look at the rest of the list, shall we? Next, let's go look at score. It's not really as interesting as NR, but we can still look at it, I guess. Surprisingly, Number Gamer is actually first in score, probably due to their more consistent scores the first 2 rounds. And of course, we've got Math Guy 37, Fly Games, Agadu Nerd Guy IDK, and Pizza Enjoyer in the top 5 as well. Now, next up is Standard Deviation, which is actually a completely different leaderboard, as this time, AA9676 is actually at the top of the leaderboard. Also surprisingly, Math Guy 37 is pretty close to them with over 3%. Next up we have Pizza Enjoyer, Algadu Nerd Guy IDK, and Jolly Sobble. Actually, I do think it makes sense that AAA is at the top of the leaderboard, as now, he's the efficiency champion now. Congrats! Now, finally, we have Verbosity. This one isn't as interesting as the others in my opinion, but if you're curious, here's the top 5. Pizza Enjoyer, Fly Games, Silly Circus, Number Gamer, and Triblast. Alright, now we're done with that, I feel like now is a good time to mention that now we're finally at the final 10. which is kinda crazy, honestly. Honestly, my contestant count goal for alumni would be 5, since it's the square root of 22, rounded up obviously, and we're kinda nearing that now. Although, seeing that half of the 10 contestants still have 2 lives, I feel like episode 5B would be a nice time to do life decay. Here's what'll happen. If by 5B you still have 2 lives, you'll automatically lose one in order to be fair with the 1 lifers. But, in return of your lost life, you'll get a double response prize. And if you also prize during that round, then maybe you'll even get a triple response prize. But I wouldn't count on it. In return, I'll also make the elimination rate lower for that round, just so that less people don't lose a life and it's fair. Here are the contestant grids. Alright, now we got nothing else to do, let's finally get on to the 5th prompt that you've been waiting for so long. The 5th prompt is, the world has become too violent. Invent a change to a deadly weapon that can make it safer. For this prompt, you can go for any weapon you want, whether it be swords, axes, guns, whatever you want. This new change can probably make the world at least a little more safer and peaceful. This will also be the round where life decay occurs, so try to go all out for this prompt. But, if you need a little help with this prompt, here's an example response. Knife sharpness is painful. Removing it makes people less stabbable. It's a bit generic and a little bad, but I think you could get the idea of what I'm trying to go for. The deadline for this prompt will be June 3rd, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. EST. It's a little longer this time since this episode took a lot longer than I thought, so you get a longer deadline in exchange. And with that, I think I'm finally done with this episode. I'm so sorry this took a while. I hope this never happens again. But with that all aside, I hope to see you all in ShortTWOW 5A. Bye.